this is Russ Matthews from Real Dialogue. We're going to be doing a series called God in Film. We're going to be looking 4 weeks at 4 different films, be able to travel through and be able to kind of see some of the big messages we get from the films, but also how that can direct us to maybe a discussion in the Bible. So what are we going to do? Well, that's a good question. So what we're going to be doing is over the next few weeks, traveling together, either as an individual at home or also a group maybe in the classroom setting, is travel through and just look basically at some key things. One is we're going to be looking at some key movie clips from some great films. 2, we're going to ask some questions. And 3, we're going to kind of engage with the Bible. And finally, we're going to have some fun. I hope that's okay, and you go through and enjoy this process of kind of learning more about God as we look at film. So what are the films we're going to be looking at? Well, there's going to be 4 key films. One is Inside Out, and that one we're going to be discussing God and creation. 2 is Wall-E. In the film, we're going to be able to look at how the world is broken. 3, we're going to be looking at Captain America, the First Avenger, and really the introduction of a key superhero or savior of the world. And 4 is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. We'll be able to go through and see how this whole thing kind of comes together. I hope you can enjoy the next 4 weeks when we travel through these 4 films and these discussions. So what are you going to need? Well, primarily you're going to need your computer or a teacher kind of going through and leading you through this process. Also, be able to go through and make sure you have a discussion guide. Each week we'll have a very special discussion guide that will kind of help you through, be able to look at key elements we're going to be talking about in this film. And so make sure you have your discussion guide, have something there to write with, and then also have these video clips available ready for you to be able to look at here in a moment. Now, for a question that would just be kind of a fun way for you to be able to start things out, whether if you're by yourself or if you're with a group of people, which I really encourage you to get together with others to have this discussion. It makes it much more fun and much more interactive. But there's 2 questions I'd want you to kind of go through and think about, maybe write down, and maybe have a discussion within your group or with your teacher. Those 2 questions are, 1, what is your favorite movie? And 2, what is your favorite Bible character if you're really aware of the Bible at all? All right, now we're going to be able to kind of travel into the first film, and that's Inside Out. So Inside Out, we're going to be looking at some key clips and then go through and answer some questions that are there on your discussion guide. And again, there's not necessarily a right and wrong answer as much as it is a way to you be able to kind of look at the Bible passage and also look at the clip and what we can maybe learn from that. So here's your first clip, and then I'll come back to you with the question here in a moment. I hope you enjoyed that clip. So now the first question I have for you is really 2 questions, and have this discussion between your group, or you can maybe write these questions down or write these answers down. And 1 is, who put these emotions into you? Were you created that way, or how did this exactly happen? And 2 is, if you believe in God, do you think God has emotions? Well, I hope you enjoyed the second clip. Now, in that clip, there's quite a bit going on as far as controlling your emotions. My question for you is, how do you control your emotions? So after the third clip, there's probably a lot you'd probably kind of consider, especially about your past. So how do you let go of the past to be able to kind of move on with your future? So in that final clip, it's interesting, isn't it, to consider, but do you think God gets sad? And why? And about what? Well, there's quite a bit that we've covered over the last session, and hopefully you've been able to kind of gain some key things by going through the Bible passages, having the discussion with your teacher, or maybe with your group. And in that, I think there's some key takeaways that you could probably come away with. 1 is that God created us. And 2 is that we're all wired a certain way. And also, finally, things seem good, but yet, for some reason, things seem broken too. Well, that's what we're going to kind of cover in session 2. So make sure you take some time, look through the discussion guide, enjoy this conversation. I hope you had some fun, and I'll see you next week.